All right, hello, hey everybody. Welcome back to the next hour of Torchbearer, the Oathkeeper's Domain. Sorry, that was a crazy conflict. That was a crazy game.
That was a drag out argument.
Yep.
Yeah,
You're
seriously.
welcome, Eric.
Yeah,
The
Wow.
dice are fully in your favor.
Yep.
yep. So the dice are pretty much fully in our favor. Let's talk about some things regarding compromises here. So compromises are like the root of pretty much all conflicts. It's so rare to get like a complete rout in a conflict. You knocked me down to one disposition, I knocked you to zero. Obviously major concessions will be made on this side. So it gets what it wants, right? First and foremost. It's going to get your memories. We spoke a little bit at break about what this could mean. And I like the idea that fictionally, I think it you might just forget about the ship and Ahab, you being a captain, that's kind of just gone.
Yeah.
Like all those memories are gone. It will eat them. But let's talk about a little bit what you're going to get out of this conflict. So you forced a major compromise, and I'm trying to find where the conflicts are in the book because it tells you a little bit about compromises for a trick or riddle. You tarry too long, you're exhausted from the effort, you're angry, you're afraid, you agree to something you shouldn't have. Um, okay, so you you definitely would have earned some of the. It doesn't really help me as far as maybe you are minorly deceived about where the treasure is, or minorly misled. I'm not really sure.
I think it's we were trying to trick it, and I
Yeah,
think this table assumes that you're trying to trick us.
yeah,
So it might be flip flopped in that way.
yeah. Okay, so you.
Yeah, because it was basically the defender in
Yeah.
this situation,
Okay.
right?
So then, yeah. So it's definitely. So it's gonna eat. So it's gonna tell you a little bit about the treasure here. It's gonna tell you that the wall behind it is a false wall. It's gonna tell you that there's a cache of treasures and stuff. The last remains of the Oathkeeper's treasure that wasn't destroyed or found by the audio the creature below and brought down into its pit. Um, Contained in it is his most prized artifact, um, this dragon tooth spear. All you got to do is open up that secret wall.
But it's not telling us how.
No, it tells you it's a false wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sense he's just like, yes, yes, yes. And
Um,
I'll pay the cost. It's fine. What are these memories to me?
you,
What is my past?
I mean, I think the proper part of the compromise is that it's somewhat of a negotiation. I think part of this compromise will be that I don't know. I think you guys all will lose memories of that, and I don't think it's that unreasonable that you guys all earn the exhausted condition from this long talk as well.
Well, and just
Also,
like having
having
your
our
memory
memories
drained is
ripped out,
probably
yeah.
exhausting.
Yeah, right.
What if, hypothetically, you're already exhausted?
You don't get hurt from it.
Okay.
You don't get. There's no double exhaustion. You're actually fine. You survive
Yeah.
it.
I'm saying
So
like my narration wasn't so much like I will pay the whole cost, but just like a sense he's like, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
it's cool. Like, sure, yeah, you're taking all our memories, great. Like, I send you just walks up and is like, whatever, my past sucks.
yeah,
Take it.
right. Does that mean that I, for example, lose my sailor skill?
No, but you lose the context of why you know this stuff.
Okay.
Totally, yeah. You have no context for why you know how to tie all these
Yeah,
knots.
you have
Yeah,
no. You
exactly.
could sail. You could still like get in a boat and sail, but you have no recollection why.
Yeah.
You're like,
Well,
I
I'm
just
like
got
Jason.
Muscle memory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jason Bourne. Yeah. All the crew, all that weight on your shoulders is gone. You don't know. You don't know about your crew anymore. You don't know about you being a survivor, but you do. I mean, you still know your God, and you know that it's important that you're going towards the deep.
Yep.
But the concept of what led you down this path, why you're here now is gone to you.
Yep.
Same thing with
Perfect.
Ermentrude.
Perfect D&D adventurers now.
Yep.
Yep.
We have nothing
No
tying us.
pass, we're just in a dungeon.
Left the Dwarven Halls. Now I'm in a cave. Seems legit.
Yeah, like it's this whole dark episode of Ermentrude's life that just gets wiped away.
We'll see. So.
But of course, I still owe a debt to Callahan, the debt collector, for the ship that I don't remember I ever had.
Exactly. So.
Awkward.
Yep. So let's go ahead and yeah. So this frog is it looks exhausted as well, and it's like it wants to sleep, but it doesn't like your guys' presence here. It's like I've given one moment. I've given you what you want, landwalkers. You've given me what I want. And it's like sits there kind of like complacent and starts to like close its eyes, and it's kind of like wrestles back down into a new little spot in this pond.
Yes, go to sleep and dream whatever it is you took.
It burps again, and like you see like a little spider like try to crawl out of it again.
Mm-hmm.
And it like kind of like swallows it again.
Yeah, and I start like checking out this wall.
Yeah.
So do you explain to us that don't speak like Abomination Frog what the wall?
I'm like, it's behind this wall. It's a false wall. But I don't explain to you about your memories being taken.
Yeah.
So I'm just so as far as I can tell, I'm in a cave and there's bizarrely 2 humans here with me. Is that my
No.
reference?
You know them to be like your friends, and you can trust them, but you don't owe the context of the boat. So like, there's no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you still have.
We don't call Ahab the captain anymore.
Yeah, we don't remember our
Yeah.
piracy. I don't remember being a captain. Yep.
Yeah.
But I remember I know the 2 of you. Okay.
Yep. You got it.
So I shoulder my warhammer and I walk up to the wall. I would like to invoke Born of Earth and Stone to figure out if this is something I can just knock down or if it's more complicated than that.
Ooh, no, you could definitely try to knock this thing down if you wanted to.
Okay.
I mean, just knocking down. That would basically, if you wanted to wreck this wall, right? Like if you wanted to just destroy it, it would probably just be a laborer test with your hammer, because it's it's a false wall. So like just breaking it,
I mean, yeah, to Ermentrude,
it would
it's
just
not
be a
that
really
complicated.
really high obstacle to really like knock down a wall. Right?
Yeah.
So
Like
we
for
need to
example,
like,
though, if you wanted to like find where the thing is with like scout or something like that first, could either help you or try to or dungeoneering your way through this thing.
yeah, can I ask a question? So this feels like my having played like first edition D&D is coming back to me, where it's like dwarves are good at finding like hidden passages and stuff, right? There's that whole core idea. So like it sounds to me that what Naja is saying is like Ermentrude can go and like look at this wall and just be like, oh yeah, like a false wall. Okay, so there's going to be like a latch here or something like.
Yeah. I've
Okay,
got
like she's an expert in
Dungeoneering,
this.
I've got Delver.
Yeah, you're looking through this like mosaic wall again, and you're looking basically for like where the false stones are. Then you have to like press them in like a pattern, right, to like open them.
Yeah.
Right. It's very clear that like some of them can be indented, but now it's a matter of figuring out the code.
So I'm like, studying this wall. Can I draw on Dungeoneering to give me knowledge about how to get through false walls that can conceal treasure? Seems like a Dungeoneering sort of activity.
Actually, this would actually be more criminal. Criminal would be more of like bypassing that types of stuff. But I definitely would allow Dungeoneer as a help.
Yeah. So maybe because Ahab has criminal, right?
Yeah. Dungeoneer is
And
bypassing
peaceful.
bypassing difficult terrain underground, avoiding traps is more Dungeoneering, but to like get into places and knowing like how to use secret doors and stuff is more criminal.
Yeah. Or even maybe even trying to find them because you're like
Yeah.
knocking on the wall and listening and like
Yeah,
moving to the
exactly.
next spot. Like strategies for like checking a wall for weaknesses.
Yeah, exactly. Like false panels and that kind of stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is Steven's role, and we're helping.
Sure. I've got a 3 in criminal. Not bad.
That's very good.
We'll help with Dungeoneer.
And I will help with either Scholar or Lore Master, because I'm like, oh, these symbols refer to this and that and the other thing, and like the myth around them is that this and whatever, and so like it would make sense to push them in this sequence, which refers to this like particular legend about whatever the fuck. If that seems fair to you.
That definitely seems fair.
Cool.
All right. I am testing a criminal.
So this would be
Yeah, what's the ob?
1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Up
And
4.
you guys are exhausted. Don't forget.
Which is like -1 success, right?
It's +1 up.
It's +1 obstacle. It's a factor
it's
to
on
this.
5.
Yeah. So you guys
Okay.
like set down your packs and all that kind of stuff, and you're looking at this. You guys feel like the weight of just been arguing forever, and you've just it's a little bit more difficult to focus. So the question that I want to ask you quick: do you have criminal tools? Do you have the tools for them? Don't you have like
We put them in one of our backpacks or sacks.
Yeah. Okay. So just to let you know, you can use those tools for an additional die to this roll.
Oh, nice.
Question: if we wanted to camp,
You need checks.
Yeah, we have none of that.
right.
We were too
Okay,
busy
so
trying to
basically, this is an ob 5 test, and I'm rolling 6 dice. Like, there's basically no way we're gonna succeed unless I get super lucky on Persona. So I feel like I should take a check against myself in order to
Yeah.
give it to us.
Thanks for
So
doing that after I decided to help you so that I get screwed over by your failure as well.
of course, absolutely. I'm going to use my touched by the gods against myself. And I think like I see some of these symbols on the wall and they like maybe sort of mean something to me, but I get really distracted trying to like remember why I even know these symbols at all. And like I'm just like really distraught for a moment as I'm trying to like knock through this. So that's gonna like reduce it by 1 success.
No, you add a die.
Right,
You
it's a
subtract
minus.
the die
When
if
you,
use
oh, I'm
it.
sorry. You are using it against yourself, so it will
Yes.
subtract 1 die from the pool of dice that you're rolling.
So criminal, its skill is 3. I would be getting 3, but I have -1, so that's a 2 total.
So
And it's a ob 5 test.
is anybody helping you?
Yeah.
We're both
We
help-
are. That's with the
So you're
help.
all-
Yeah.
Okay.
Both of
Okay.
us are helping.
so
Okay.
we all fail together.
I am submitting. Luke. 3 successes, 1 6. I'm gonna spend Persona and see if we can re-roll up to.
Fate.
You have to have the Ys to
Oh, is it a
reroll
fate?
those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. I got nothing. Okay, so I got that check though.
Yeah. Okay. So
All right.
I think the big thing will happen then. Let me go ahead and factor down the grind, factor down the lantern. Since you guys were all helping, I think Ahab, you'll get the first one. I think you get to realize when you're rechanting the calls of your god. I think you realize that like you don't stumble over the words, but you remember that these used to have more emotional meaning to you, and I think you become afraid, and everyone else becomes hungry and thirsty as they realize they're getting things. So, but it works for you. Like you get through the door. But so this is the success, but you are in a condition, and I think you're the first person of the group to realize that you're missing memories.
Yeah, I've lost
Well,
something.
I mean, I think Eisenstein knows, but like it's
It
dawning
sinks
on
in.
you, and the
Yeah.
fact that no one told you, like that you've given more to this bargain. Than you
Probably also
realize,
like
right?
looking at my hand and realizing that my tattoos are gone. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
like you gave it. It's that feeling of it's like a residual effect of like, yeah, I'll pay this price, no problem. I do this, and then it's like, oh god, I paid this price.
oh
Oh
shit.
god, oh shit, I paid this price.
Yeah.
And like that kind of that sort of feeling.
Horror.
Buyer's remorse.
is the word.
Yeah, right? Yeah, this remorse comes over you and you become afraid, while everyone else gets hungry and thirsty for helping you. But the pattern,
Water.
yeah, the pattern lights up, and the door opens. The panel recesses, and this thick air, kind of like cold air, kind of like starts pouring into this room. It's actually kind of hard to breathe in this place, and you don't know why. So just like it's like kind of this room of bad air.
Dungeoneering to find out why?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You can do that.
Or to like see if it's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you can see, you see sort of like as the I'm sorry to interrupt you, like the lantern like pouring into this room, like as the door recesses, it like gives way, and you see sort of like this pile of gold coins and like goblets, and you see like in the middle sticking out of it is this white spear with a golden tip, with sort of like etched around with some rubies in the middle of it.
Damn.
Yeah.
You could stab that into that frog and kill it. For sure.
So this cold air wafts over us, and I hold my hands out, stopping my human companions. I say, wait a minute, this isn't right. Trust me, I know these things.
Yeah.
So
And,
I'm
where did she learn
gonna invoke my instinct, never give up the chance to demonstrate dwarven superiority underground, to not tick down the grind.
Mm-hmm.
As I roll Dungeoneering to figure out why this air smells so bad, or it's so hard to breathe, rather.
Yeah, is there a smell associated with it, or is it just like clogging in our throats?
No, there's definitely it's like a putrid smell associated to it. Something like sulfurous.
So
Nice.
my skill is 3. They can't help me. Can I help myself with my nature at all?
If you spend Persona.
Yeah, if you can spend Persona.
I can do that. So I'm going to spend a Persona point and add my
Delving.
current nature of 2.
Yeah. And this does not, this won't affect, this is not considered a tax on your nature because it's part of delving. It's within your nature's capabilities to do this, so that's fine. But you might still lose it based on if you fail the roll. Oh, and the obstacle here? I think bad air was 2? I'm going to say 2. Yeah.
2? Okay.
Easy.
Smash it.
Nice.
All success. I'm like, wait a minute. Before we blunder into any more madness, what do I find out about this air?
You know that this air is coming from... Okay. So, there's like a... You see the light, and it filters into a... sort of like a... I guess a duct would be the best way, or like a chimney kind of duct, kind of like at the floor of this place. And you can see kind of like this like faint kind of like green air kind of like filtering through here. Like there's some sort of like a magma vent kind of chamber is like pouring in some sulfur. Like there's volcanic activity below. And it's kind of like it's broken through at some kind of like recess near the floor of this room in here, and it's filled it with bad air. And now that you've opened it, this air that's been sitting in here like cooling off forever has been opened up, so you get this putrid air.
Do I know how to safely get through it with 5 successes?
Yeah, hold your breath.
So I start backing up, and I put my hand over my mouth, and I say, don't breathe that in.
And it's not going to clear out on its own over time?
It won't
Really
clear out on its
stagnant?
own. No. It's still going to be like in that room, so it's going to be slowly creeping out more now that the door's open. But you can certainly go in there and just test your luck.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Is there anything I can do with my skills of alchemy to deal with this air or to like make something that will fortify us against its effects or something like that.
Yeah, I think you could probably make something if you needed that, but you could probably have to do that at a camp phase.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure you could camp in a room that's having bad air in it.
Well, we can take a hit on the grind to do whatever as well, right? Like we just stop everything. Everyone has to wait around while I make this little concoction.
You want to make a concoction. What I would say is that if you want to make a concoction for everyone in the group, that's going to require a certain more difficult obstacle, and I would give you a plus die to the I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I would think. Okay, I was thinking that might actually be a good idea, and then kind of do the test. But
And what I'm imagining is like this.
Stay there. No, I know what it is. It's a good idea.
To like push the bad air away, so I like mix up these things, and it starts like frothing and making this like blue smoke that comes out, and like.
Yeah, no, it is a good idea. No, I'm gonna give you that as a good. Okay.
Could we alternatively or in addition cover the crack that it's seeping from?
Yeah, but someone would have to get in there to kind of cover it.
I would be willing to do that.
So maybe this like thing I make enables Ermintrude to make the like laborer test or whatever to plug the thing, and then we can like clean the air out.
Yeah, you want to spend 2 turns doing that?
I'm cool with it.
Sounds pretty safe.
Okay, so this would be an Ob 1 Alchemist test to basically give you to provide essentially like a poultice or like a ward against this bad air is essentially how I see it.
Yeah, it's like hold this bottle in front of your face.
Yeah, like literally like a bottle of air, and it's just like
but it's like outputting this like blue.
Yeah, like don't breathe in through your nose. Just only breathe in that good air in this bottle.
Yeah,
but like basically that's what you're doing. Bottled air,
and then breathe out through your nose.
You got some side eye.
Yeah, like you like close your nose. You're like, it just has air that you need in that room. Okay, that's an obligation.
Yeah, it's like some like weird old school like plague mask style.
Yeah, you're only doing it. Yeah, and you're only doing it for Ermintrude.
Yeah, exactly. Just enough for one person.
One person's obligation.
Do the work.
Yeah.
And this involves like a bit of cloth or whatever to kind of like cover your face with.
Yep. So after this, your lantern goes out.
Cool. I will deplete my other flask of oil.
Okay.
So we're all out of oil, but I still have 4 torches once the lantern goes. And then I'm doing a Ob 1 alchemy test.
Yeah. Did everybody eat and drink, by the way? Excuse me, did Ermintrude and Eisensie both? Eisensie, I remember, drank water when you got hungry and thirsty. Did Ermintrude eat anything?
Make sure I have water to drink. I do.
Yeah. Okay, you drink the water. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, this is just an Ob 1 alchemy.
Yeah, so and no help or anything. It's Ob 1
test.
I do it.
Cool.
Yay.
All right, and now, so you have this ball of air you give to Ermintrude.
Yeah, and I'm like instructing her on how to like hold it over your face, like under this like towel on your face. And,
I snatch it out of your hand and say, "Don't worry, I understand how to do this because I'm a dwarf, and this is what we're good at." And I am going to invoke my instinct, and bypassing the grind, and I will go in there and find something heavy to put over this seeping crack.
Okay. Yeah, so this is obviously a laborer test. This is born laborer test. Yeah. So the answer here would be okay. Here's what I'm concerned about though. Would be light. So you have to go in that place and you're gonna have to like take the lantern in there and kind of like look around for stuff, and then you're gonna leave everyone else in the dark. Is that what you're gonna do? Or is like Eisensie gonna come in with you? Right? Like who's gonna hold the light while you?
Is the room so big that I can't light it with the lantern by standing at the edge?
You will be subject to the air.
Right, because that'd be too
Could
costly.
I take the lantern, set it down while I
Yeah.
work, and then they light a torch? Because
Yeah.
we have those too.
Yeah, that would work. Okay. I was
Oh, okay.
basically I was wondering if light would be a factor in this or not. So okay, that works as well. Cool. That's fine. So you go in there, you drop the lantern, and you're gonna look around for some kind of like rocks and stuff to kind of like seal, or even like treasure because there's so much in here. You know.
Yeah. Preferably something not valuable that we can leave
Yeah.
behind.
So
but-
yeah, you can find some rocks here to cover that stuff up. I want to make sure. Yeah, I want to see what the certain factors of a laborer test are. I'm pretty sure they're not that significant. This would probably be something well within your wheelhouse.
Can I spend a persona to add delving nature to this test?
Yeah,
Question 1.
yeah, because I feel like it's like handling caves and zones with bad air is something that dwarves would know how to do, and that's something about delving.
And then question 2, can I simultaneously use my foolhardy trait against myself? And
Ooh,
I'm like,
wait,
can I do
Eisensie,
both of those?
you're exhausted.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Right, and it doesn't factor that in.
Does
Okay,
it
so
factor in the
that,
obstacle automatically?
no, it doesn't. So that's a 0.
But you have fate though. Can you want to reroll at
Oh,
6?
actually, sorry. Yeah, I can spend fate and roll
Spend
another
fate
die.
real quick, just to make sure. Because I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just chat.
Yeah,
caught
no,
that
that's
as well.
important.
Yeah. No.
Nope.
Wait,
Okay.
Got the hot
So,
dice today.
You may. Okay.
well, I'm gonna do it anyway. So
Maybe this is where Isensi becomes afraid, and he's like, "How do I remember how to make this?"
Yeah.
Or angry at Ermintrude's treatment.
Yeah.
I can see arguments for either.
Oh no! Yeah, know what happens? No, you become angry because you give it to Ermintrude, and she's like, "I know how to use this," and she lets it go, and the air gets bad, like immediately when she grabs it. Like she didn't put the cap on it, or like she bumped open the cap when it was prematurely or something, and now
Yeah.
you're angry. You're like, "No! How did you ruin it?" And it's ruined.
But like it turns out it's okay, because if I'm angry, then that means it succeeds. Right? The test, like we get the thing.
Yeah. And she's like, "Wait, yeah," and
So there's like this
she's
whole like
like holds
exchange
it
where
up,
she's
and it's like done, easy.
shouting at each
Yeah.
other for a minute.
Yeah, but you're
yeah,
so
there's
furious.
this like awkward,
Yep.
bad moment.
Yeah.
Cool. And then I'm all like pissed off at her.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's only a matter of time until I was mad at her.
true. Okay, so I'm using persona to pull in my nature for assistance with delving.
Yeah.
Can I simultaneously use foolhardy against myself?
Yeah, because you're not pulling traits to your advantage. You're using only one trait in the roll against yourself, and then you're just personaing in your
My nature.
roll dice.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that gives me a +1 die to this, and since I'm using my instinct, no one can help me.
Yeah.
What
no.
it is, it's my ob.
This would be a one laborer test.
Oh,
Just move something over there. It's easy.
yeah. So let's make sure. Yeah, I do it. So I have this like little kerfuffle with Isensi, and like after that, I have a chip on my shoulder. So I'm like barely using this bottle correctly at all because I know what I'm doing. I'm a dwarf. I don't need some weird human telling me what to do. I know what I'm doing. And I go in, set the lantern down, and find something.
Yeah.
What is-
You find like a boulder basically to like roll over in front of the vent.
And I could roll it, but I pick it up because I'm a
Ooh.
dwarf. And I put it down.
Nice. Perfect.
And I
Yeah,
just
just
turn
like shows
around
So
and
now
I
they-
look
yeah.
at Isensi.
Yeah. So instead of like the air, having that huge like loud like sound, it's a very very light kind of like sound coming through. More air will kind of like neutralize the bad air, letting you guys kind of be safe.
And then it seems like this is a perfect time for us to camp while we wait for the air to kind of clear.
Yeah.
And then when we come at it after resting, we can like
Yeah.
get in there and take our treasure.
We're gonna camp in the shadow of a giant sleeping frog.
As long as we're at a bit of a remove, like there's no way it gets to us without.
We're basically friends now. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and the faint sounds of the splashing audio can be heard beneath as well. And
Happily splashing around in the
Yeah.
muck.
so we're going to go, and just to get back in order, let's go to our next